Hello and welcome to this episode of One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm Jake Soder.
And I'm Ben Greenberg. We have a great show for you guys today, so let's kick things off with the quick hitters.
Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher shot and killed his girlfriend and then continued to drive to Arrowhead Stadium and take his own life in the stadium parking lot just one day before the Chiefs game against the Carolina Panthers. Ben, should the NFL have stepped in and canceled this game?
Well, if the Chiefs did not want to play, I don't think they should have been forced to, and they weren't forced to.
Right.
I think the NFL handled it pretty well. The sad truth is that terrible things happen daily, and people go to work the next day.
And I think it's different than a lot of situations because it wasn't so much that you were sympathizing for the organization for the loss of a player that didn't do anything wrong. He definitely did something wrong. He committed murder. Mm-hmm. So if you're the Chiefs and you decide that what's best for your team is to move forward and play that game, you should have every right to do so. And I'm glad the NFL didn't step in.
And by the way, it's something that's very important and well done by the NFL is that they had a moment of silence for all victims.
Right.
They didn't just focus
on domestic abuse, right?
Of domestic abuse in general. Did not just focus on Belcher.
Right. Very important.
Good job there. Both Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds are on this year's Hall of Fame ballot. Should these two alleged steroid users be voted into the Hall?
No, I don't think they should. They won't be voted in, I don't believe, on this first ballot because just of the factor of who the baseball writers are currently that are voting them in.
Right.
There's been a widespread notion across the baseball writers of America that the majority of them don't think they should be in. So my feeling is that if they don't get in on this first ballot, they may never get in at all.
Right, and look, the easy answer is to say, no, they cheated, you can't let them in. But it's not really that simple. The MLB banned steroids in 1991 and didn't even start league testing until 12 years later in 2003. So when they turned a blind eye at the time, and to now say that these guys are cheaters, I'm not sure it's perfectly fair.
And I think that it's possible that there could be a section in the Baseball Hall of Fame for like the steroid era or something like that.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is the people who are in charge of voting them in right now don't exactly feel that way, and that's just the cold, hard truth.
Exactly, and I don't think baseball is in the wrong, but I don't think they've handled the situation well either.
Yeah, pretty fair. Michael Jordan is interested in having the name the Hornets back in Charlotte, with rumors that New Orleans is considering a name change for their team. Ben, would the move for the Hornets back to Charlotte be a good or bad thing for the city?
Listen, the Charlotte Bobcats went 7-59 last year.
Right.
With all due respect, I think
Right.
any change is a good change.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just to give you a sense of how bad the record was last year, the Charlotte Bobcats are currently 7-9. They would have to go on a 50-game losing streak right now to be as bad as they were last year. I don't think it's going to be the be-all, end-all for the organization, but a good move.
And look, the city of Charlotte was heartbroken when the Hornets left to go to New Orleans. They really, really were. So for all the people that stopped really paying attention to the Charlotte team because it was no longer the Hornets, they changed to the Bobcats, I think you'll see an instant boost in attendance for all those people that loved the Hornets long ago. They'd be so excited to see the Hornets back, and it would be an instant attendance booster for the Charlotte Hornets.
Exactly. Look, as I said, I don't think it's the best move ever, but I think it's one
it would definitely help, though.
It would be awesome.
Help.
It would. It
Absolutely.
would be fun. In a surprise decision, Northern Illinois is playing in the Discover Orange Bowl against Florida State. Jake, fair or foul?
Well, I'm going to say foul, but only for this reason. Look, Northern Illinois earned their way in. They did. With the current BCS format, they earned their way in. But the BCS itself is foul. That's what the problem I have with this. Until the BCS changes, which we know it will coming up soon in a couple years, we're going to start having a playoff format. Until that happens, you're going to see these kinds of things happen. So you can't exactly complain that Northern Illinois got in because they didn't do anything wrong. They earned their way in based on the current format.
Right, and I'm not going to say this is fair or foul. I'm going to say it's fun. That's what it is. It's a Cinderella story.
Why not?
Why should the boys from Northern Illinois have to sit back and watch yet another huge market team playing another huge nationally televised game? Everyone needs to stop whining a little bit and just enjoy the Cinderella story. This is America.
And you know what? If they pull it out, it'll be one of the great stories of the year, beating Florida State, a team that people thought would be in the national championship picture at the beginning of the season. That would be an incredible story.
Jake, I agree with you 100%. The BCS system is flawed, but Northern Illinois, let's just embrace it and have fun with it.
No question. Time for us to take our first break, but when we return, I will be joined by our NFL experts to discuss which team has been the biggest surprise this season. Stay tuned.